Okay, well, here's an inevitable topic, but let's touch on Triumph for a minute. Will there or won't be, or will there or won't there be a tour, even if a small one?
That's a really hard call at this point. I think in terms of the way we're getting along with each other and loving each other again, and everything's good that way. I think it's a strong possibility. In terms of the way the economy kind of turned, and then what Live Nation sort of put on the table, and then what has started going on, in particular in Gil's life. Then it seems less likely, and the reason is that. Gil had just made a pretty serious kind of commitment and investment in his own metalworks life, and he's got a real empire there. There's the studio, there's the school, and there's this very large production company now that's involved on really high levels doing, if you go to the Toronto International Film Festival and you go to the outdoor stages, those are his stages, those are his lighting rigs, those are his everything. The trucks have got his logos on them, and the gears all got the roadies roll in these giant cases, and they're all metalwork cases. So, he's got a huge operation going, and with the economy kind of going a little south, it was like, boys, I really got to keep my eye on this, and I got to be around the shop, and I have to be in the office, and I can't really let it go. And the other part of that is back at home, he's got a couple of young kids that are just sort of getting into their teenage years, and I really think he's discovered how important it is to be around, and how for his marriage it's a good idea, and all of those kinds of things. So he kind of went, I can't take time to, get myself back in shape as a drummer, singer, and then go out and be playing a bunch of shows and doing 90-minute shows every night. His candle was going to get burned at both ends, So he I think he made a wise decision. The other thing too, and I don't know how much I should be saying publicly. You should have him and do an interview with him, but he was quite candid about the whole Rocklahoma thing and Sweden thing, and he said he really enjoyed chasing it and doing it, and it was a great experience, but it was nice that it was just this, one-off kind of, or two-off, as it were, thing, because he said that he didn't really enjoy being up on stage as much as he thought he might. Like, he loved the process, and he loved getting back together, and he said, in truth, Rick, I loved the rehearsals and that whole process of just hanging with you guys and doing that more than I enjoyed the gigs. He said the gigs were a little bit nerve-wracking, and
well, there's a lot of pressure there.
There is, yes, and performance anxiety and stuff. I'm used to it. I play gigs all the time, so to me, the little bit of butterflies and stuff, like, they're my friends, like, I'm used to that. For him, I think it was more like, oh God, oh God, oh God. And then he gets out there and he's going, oh, the monitors, all this, all the lights. Oh, like, he's, Gil is a guy that he pays attention to everything that's going on. Whereas I just kind of drop my head and I just go for it, So it was interesting to sort of see, a sensitive side of him, a much more kind of mature, grown up kind of, adult man dealing with adult men stuff, and then being quite candid after. And so, what I did was really appreciate him on a level that I never had before, that he'd made this real effort for the Triumph thing. And then you see how much of an effort it was for him, and how much of a kind of a sacrifice and a personal kind of putting himself out there kind of thing. And so I really I appreciated that much deeper than I had back when we were, just being guys in the day. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, they're knocking at the door.
We gave it the office. Any of the footage that was taken during those two shows, Rocklahoma and Sweden, are there any plans to put that out at any point, maybe with some documentary stuff?
Yeah, for sure they wanted to, and all that footage got done, and there were cameramen with their cameras in my face and all that stuff. So for sure that exists. I just think it went into editing mode, and it was in the studio, and then Gil got sort of sidetracked with other things, and so someday it may see the light of day. But it may be like, remember the US Festival stuff in '83?
Yes.
Yeah, it may be like that. It might take 5 or 6 years before it shows up.
All right, well, let's talk about your real family. Your daughter Sharon, she contributed some of her flouting abilities on Good Faith on your Good Faith record. Any plans for her to contribute again? What's she up to?
Well, she teaches high school in Brampton, Ontario, and teaches some English and some music. And she's got the high school musical this year is running before Christmas. So, like, second week of December, we're going to get a chance to go up, and she sits in the pit and plays keys and you know, a student band and all these singers, and it's a lot of fun and it's crazy. And
Is flouting a word, by the way? I think I just made that up.
yeah, well, it is, but they are called flautists, but you know, I don't know. It's more like fluting, but then that sounds like you're just drinking a lot of champagne. Yeah. Yeah, no, she plays flute. Flute was her major instrument in university, but she was always a very good piano player. So she sort of plays way more piano now than she does flute. But I think every now and then she may get it out and play it with it in the high school that she's in. I don't know, but she teaches some guitar, although she's left-handed, and so yeah. So there you go. Yeah.
Let's talk about a guilty.
Hang on. Wait. She got married.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, so that was my first daughter. Walked her down the aisle, and it was amazing. It was you remember that little tiny bit of time we got there in August where it was just incredibly hot.
Yeah, about an hour. I remember.
Yeah. It was like, so it was the hottest Saturday on the planet Earth. It was just broiling hot, but it was fantastic. We had it outdoors, and it was and that's one of the highest highs I've ever had my whole life of walking my daughter down the aisle.
That's so sweet. That's so sweet.